Yeah, call this utility meeting to order. One utility committee members is on vacation, so should be absent tonight. Mr. Rhodes?
Yes.
Over to you.
I want to thank Councilman Sherman and Councilman Dunphy for allowing me to call this meeting. I wanted to talk about our abatement policy for water and sewer leaks. And I kind of did a little research on how we could maybe kind of change the abatement policy so that it's community friendly and actually get more people signing up for the abatement policy so that they have protection in case they have an accidental or catastrophic leak. So I talked with LEAX, and they kind of told me how they set their policy up. They have you pay a $30 annual premium. It gives you $600 of protection, and that translates into, based on their water rates of 1107 per 1,000 gallons, it's about 54,200 gallons of water protection for $30. Now our rates are a little bit more expensive. They read monthly. I kind of thought that they were using something more digital, like we have in place now with the new water meters. When I was talking with John, he said that they have about 33% of their customers signed up for their abatement plan. So I thought that was a pretty decent number. We actually talked about ways that we might be able to increase that number. And then I talked with somebody that used to sit on the Carbon Hill Water District, and one of the things they mentioned was that they used to, if there was a catastrophic or accidental water leakage, they would look at 20% of, they would look at reducing the bill by 80%, because they looked at 20% as being kind of the cost of what was the water they provided. So I just had that down there as reference, and then I looked into Logan's water abatement plan, and basically it's left up to the city manager or the mayor to make an adjustment on the water bill, and they would base it on like a monthly average over a 3-month period or a 12-month period, and then they would take that average, and anything above that, you would be charged at the wholesale cost of the water usage. So if you look at like what our current abatement amounts are, it's $30 for $500 in coverage, or $50 for $1,000 in coverage. Just taking the $1,000 coverage, that equates to about 35,000 gallons, and this applies to correct me, Taylor, if I'm wrong, both water and sewage. So you would get basically the first 35,000 gallons covered if you were to have a accidental or catastrophic leak for $50, because it would normally cost you $1,000 if you had that amount of water leaking out of your system. And if you have a running toilet for a month, you could easily go through about 15,000 gallons. So it's a good plan to have in place and purchase, but I'm not sure it's giving residents or businesses enough incentive to kind of buy into it. And I'll talk about the numbers here, in a minute. And then also included on this document that I gave to you is what Taylor provided for the in-town cost for the first 1,500 gallons of water is $23.80. and every 1,000 gallons thereafter is $15.83. And then if you're out of town, like Brookville, it's a little more expensive, 1,500 gallons. It's $35.07, and after 1,500 gallons, it's $23.73. So what I was going to propose was that for the $50 abatement fee, you get the $1,000 of coverage up to 35,000 gallons, and over 35,000 gallons, the remainder of the bill, if it goes over that, you would have a 50% reduction, your water slash sewage, which would be kind of a one time off. So if you were to have a $5,000 water bill, and I don't think with the new meters, the likelihood of that is going to be much lower. But if you take the abatement plan, you would be charged on $4,000. So it would be $2,000 that you would pay on the remainder of the balance instead of $4,000, and then you already paid the $50. So that would actually cost you $2,050. But if you don't get in the abatement plan, then you're going to be responsible for the $1,000 up to the first 35,000 gallons, and over 35,000 gallons, then you will have 40% reduction in your water sewage as a one-time off. So we're trying to incentivize people to get on the plan so that, because a lot of times, from what I've seen, just in the short time that I've been here, people are appealing some of the higher water bills to get some sort of reduction. And we don't really have any real clarity around that other than you're not in the abatement plan, you got to pretty much pay whatever the water and sewage bill is. And there is some leniency in the ordinance where the city manager can reduce at his or her discretion the water side of the bill. So what I kind of indicated here is I think currently there's about 10% of the water users on the abatement plan, and Taylor, you said there's 2,243 water users, right?
About 2,200.
2,200.
243.
Yeah, 243 people on the plan. So if we can get people to sign up, get up to that 35% that LEAX says that they have, then that gives us incentive to monitor the leaks for business, and we already do that. I know Robert's already pointed out that if they detect a leak, it's not just the first day; it has to be kind of reoccurring, like 250 gallons over a couple day period. You'll get a phone call, you'll get a letter that follows up, and then eventually the customer is going to be able to monitor it as well. So hopefully the catastrophic leaks are going to be minimized, because it would be to our advantage not to see a customer waste the water that we're generating. So we could turn it off until we get contact with the customer, and then turn it back on when they inform us that the leak's been fixed. And then it gives the customers an incentive to join the abatement program. And I don't think there's enough clarity right now on written in the current abatement plan to kind of entice customers to go in a direction. And we've had the abatement plan in place for what, 2 years now? 3 years? Two. So I was just putting a proposal out there that maybe we change the abatement plan so that it's a win-win for both the city and the community.
Well, what would you do different to entice people to join?
Well, right now, I think you can join at any time, Taylor. It's not like, well, the one thing about LEACs that, with them, you can only join at the beginning of the year.
This one says, please sign and return to our office with your non-refundable annual fee by January 10th, 2023. We have a cutoff date of January 10th, 2023.
Oh,
It's our due date, but we prorate it throughout the whole year. So if somebody signs up in July.
They can do
or
that.
June, they do pay 6 months for example.
right. And again, I think, putting out there, taking advantage of, the Facebook page, the website page, maybe putting, something at the bottom of, the water bills, reminding people that they can sign up for the abatement program. Obviously, they can't sign up if there's been any kind of high water usage prior to, when they want to sign up. So if they had a 10,000 gallon leak, then the abatement program wouldn't impact anything prior to when they sign up.
So you just want to do more advertising on it?
Yeah, we
Let people know that.
do more advertising on it, let people know that, there's the additional incentive of 50% reduction in water and sewage if you were to exceed the 35,000 gallon, but that would be a one-time write-off or deduction, I guess.
But you don't need to hit that 1,000 gallon for that.
What's that?
You don't need to hit that $1,000 threshold before you can use that insurance.
Oh, no. So if you had a leak, Taylor and I were talking about it. So if you had a toilet run for a month and you use 15,000 gallons, that equates to about $262. So you can apply the abatement to the $262 water bill to get that reduction.
Gotcha.
And until you exceeded your $1,000 in coverage, but this is more for the catastrophic type kind of leak. And this would only apply going forward and not retroactive to any of the customers that unfortunately had catastrophic leak.
Right. Okay, so
And if you do the math, so right now, Taylor indicated, we've collected about $9,000 in abatement fees. So, if you could take that to 1,000 customers, 50% of your customers on the abatement plan, that's $50,000 in fees that we're collecting that can be used to cover the cost of the leakages that may occur. Because right now, I think it's just barely break even, is what you said. So,
They need more participants.
right.
so it's advertising.
Right, but do we need to write an ordinance to change?
Not for that, I don't think, just to advertise. It's the
Well, but what we're
Same
gonna do-
abatement plan.
Well, no, because the abatement plan doesn't include the 50% reduction in water and sewer at one time if you go over 35,000 gallons.
Yeah, if you're gonna change it, you need an ordinance.
So I was gonna propose we,
I don't have a problem writing up an ordinance for it, if that's what you guys wanna do.
I would love to have had this more than 30 minutes before the meeting.
no,
That's a lot to think about
right,
before a meeting, because here's the problem. We're here for the citizens, but we're also here for the city.
Right.
It's a fine line. And we have a lot of loans and we have a lot of bills to pay out of the water and sewer funds right now.
right.
So you know, I'd want to break down, I'd like to wait till about August to see, you know, if any more people participate and get a good average number of where we're at, because we're, you know, 3 months into the year, 4 months into the year, almost 5,
Right.
you know, and see where we're at and see.
Does that
where we
number,
can go from there.
is that number fluctuated much over the previous year? Like, are we,
Which number are we talking about?
the number of people that, are in the plan? I mean, is it like, was it 250 last year and it's 250 this year?
I didn't pull last year's when you asked. It's been around the same number.
Like 10%?
Yes, it hasn't been much higher or lower. I guess that was, I mean, Tony's statement makes me wonder if council were to change it going forward, would that only include abatements, meaning abatements in January 2024? Because we've already signed the ones, and we, meaning the customers, have already signed the ones for this year? Or would you guys be making that change immediate and basically essentially changing the agreement in the
Right.
middle of the year?
Yeah,
I don't know
mean,
what-
we can, I mean, again, we can talk about, I mean, I agree, with Tony, we can, we can have another utilities committee meeting, you know, in a couple weeks, so these guys have a chance to kind of absorb what I've given them, and then, you know, this isn't something that, you know, needs to be made, it's not like an emergency ordinance. You know, I think it's just something I wanted to propose since I've been here, and have had people asking if the water bills could be appealed. And since all that transpired prior to me taking over, I wanted to do a little bit of research on how other water districts handle, you know, catastrophic events. So,
Can I make a statement? For many years, I was on LEAX and was extraordinarily satisfied. They did have a way of letting you know if you were approaching a catastrophic water leak. They would actually call and say, your water is really going up, you need to check on it. And that was a great benefit.
right, and I've been on LEAX, as well, and I've gotten calls from them, and but they only read monthly. I was under the impression that they
I can
were,
get an hourly reading if I wanted it. They will send me a printout of the hourly reading.
yeah, that they will, I agree with you, that they can pull that report. They only read the meters monthly, but they don't have the ability to go in there and, like, on a computer and see what your currently daily usage is. They have to send somebody out, they have to literally pull the information off the meter, and then they can give you a monthly output. But they can't, like, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, you can go into the computer and read the water meter. I don't know if it's 100%, you know, accurate, or I think it's upwards of 90% plus accurate. And I have gotten calls, I know other people have gotten calls when, you know, the water consumption's up. And then you have an opportunity to address it right away. So hopefully, we won't see that many people getting into, you know, over 35 gallons or over 35,000 gallons worth of usage with the new water meters that we have. So. And I think, Taylor, you told me that we're probably, what, a couple cases a year? Where
Catastrophic?
yeah, we're better.
Major, like a major incident, that's going through the meter, probably once a year.
Yeah, once or twice a year, so we're not talking of abating millions of gallons of water. And, you know, I know we do have a lot of loans associated with the water and sewer plants. But I think if we get more people on the abatement plan, we'll actually be ahead instead of kind of just break even.
Uh,
So we can hold this over for a couple weeks,
yeah, we just revisit it.
and then revisit in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else?
Well, this doesn't have anything to do with the water and sewer, but with electric, we talked about it here.
Electric has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do, that's all AEP,
Huh?
that's all AEP.
No, okay, I'm just,
Are you talking about electric bills for the city?
yeah, like we're in a contract right now that's due to expire, so I don't know what.
Oh.
That would be. Utilities and then go to finance.
Yeah.
Huh?
It would probably be utilities and then go to finance, so yeah.
Right, well, it's because our contract is going to expire in June.
Okay. Well, we revisit that at the same time we revisit.
Well,
the snows together.
I was hoping that this, our company was gonna send me a quote, because AEP is jumping rates pretty significantly, up to 11 cents a kilowatt per hour. And right now, we buy our energy through a distributor, and we've got a phenomenal rate of like 4 cents per kilowatt. So it's not gonna go to 11 cents, but they propose something that's, in the 6.5% range. So I just wanted to find out how I get, because I know that contracts have to be approved by council, right?
Mhm.
And I don't wanna be locked in, I don't want us to get locked in at 11 cent per kilowatt hour rate. So
All right,
when I get that email, I can circulate it to you guys, and then we can have a meeting to
Yeah,
discuss
so
it.
we'll do the 2 week thing with the.
Right.
The water, and we'll just bring, get the information out on the other stuff, we'll talk about it then.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
I don't have anything, anybody else got to anything? Yeah, calls me to close at 5:27.
Great, thanks.